Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Coffee with Carl. I am your host, Carl Zoellner. I am one of the attorneys with Anderson Business Advisors, and today I want to talk a little bit about um, the ability to use some of the technology or websites out there to pay some different bills that you normally would be required to pay with a check or a linked bank account. Over the years, I've had a couple of instances where I like to pay some of my larger bills with my credit card. And so I started to do some research, looked at some different options, and wanted to take you through one I found that's been working great for me. As a quick caveat, the website I'm going to show you is called PLASTIQ. There is no sponsorship, there is no connection. It's just the one I've used. Had good experience with it, no issues to this point, but it's not an endorsement of them, and they don't endorse me. So there's no this isn't an advertisement. It's just sort of an FYI for those of you who might be able to use something like this or been looking for something like this. What you're seeing on the screen here, this is actually my uh, mortgage payment for a property. Um, my card down here, you can see the MasterCard down there ending 1419 is actually a it's a points card for airlines. So I like my airline status from traveling before COVID. So I like to maintain that and through the card. My personal strategy is I'll pay on the card, but I pay the card twice a month. So it's basically coming out the same as cash for me. The only thing that's different is the small fee you see up there towards the top. And to collect that chunk of points in which I was going to be basically paying that amount anyways, I'm okay paying the fee to collect the additional points. So, not for everybody, but that's what I did. Now, a couple of things I've thought about over the years is if I ever really needed it, this could be super helpful, right? I mean, what if, just run through some scenarios. What if at some point, for some reason, I lost my job with Anderson Advisors and needed a little bit of time to float some money? Well, technically, as long as my credit limit is good, this could keep paying that until I'm basically out of credit. So that's pretty neat. During COVID, of course, there were times where it was, you could defer your mortgage, things like that. Um, but like I said, it's going to come down to personally what everybody's interested or potentially using it for. But before I found a website that I could do this with, because you'll also note on any of those transactions, it says check. So I have them actually send, in this case, it would be guaranteed rate, a check on my behalf. It's just a charge against my credit card from PLASTIQ. So the mortgage company is still getting what they need, right? They're getting a good negotiable check from basically from me, but it's just being sent through the medium of this PLASTIQ service. So I'm sure everybody's minds can go wild on what they would use it for. But for me, I thought it was really cool that things that normally required checks and wouldn't allow you to pay with a credit card, there's an option out there. Now, what I'll tell you as a couple of shortcomings, number one is there is a little bit of lag time in getting it set up. So if I needed to pay something, say on May 1st, I couldn't have set that up, April 29th, especially with the check, because the check, they got to generate the check and send it out in the mail and everything else. So I would say if you're going to do it on something, give yourself a little bit of time. I have found them to be very reliable. I haven't had anything quirky happen, but you will see some of those dates are a little weird on there. They're not the first, right? You see fourth, third, things like that, just because there's a little bit of a gap in time between the time you set up and the time they can get that negotiated and paid. So overall, pretty cool. Like I said, they take you through on any of your transactions. You can check on any of your transactions. It'll show when the payment was submitted, processing, sent, when it was delivered by, as well as when the actual mortgage company, in this case, deposited it. So um, the other reason I do it too is, quite frankly, my memory is not as good as it used to be. So if I can make things that I know are coming up monthly automatic, then it'll stop me from getting notices that I forgot to pay something because just quite frankly, I wasn't thinking about it or I don't do it at the same time. So I think it was pretty cool. Works for me. Like I said, this isn't an endorsement of plastic. Plastic doesn't endorse me. It's just a matter of I thought it was some cool information to share. So, as always, if you liked the information, thought it was cool, I'm happy to create sort of more of this content as well. I don't know, maybe I'll have to create a playlist called, creative workarounds or something like that. As always, if you would please like and subscribe, share with your friends, and I will catch you on the next episode. So, thanks again for joining me with this episode of Coffee with Carl, and we will catch you on the next one. Thanks, everyone.